Welcome back. I'm so happy to see you again and I hope you're doing great wherever you are. So today I want to do a very cold winter scene with some mean looking colors, a big mountain, and we have a very limited palette here for this. So let's start off immediately. I have already covered the canvas with a thin even coat of liquid white, so we are ready to start. And I'm gonna take the twinge brush and go into some Prussian blue. And I'm gonna add just a small amount of foothills brown to that because I want to have a blue-gray sky here. Just tap in some color and let's go up here with crisscross strokes. And as you can see, the color is blending with the liquid white and it's getting lighter and lighter as we move downwards. Just add a little bit more color here. I want it a little bit darker. So it's always Van Dyke brown and Prussian blue, that's better. And we're using the crisscross strokes for our colors to blend better in here. I love painting winter scenes with cold colors. I love that cold feeling. And we just want a nice sky here. Just like so. Now very gently go above this and remove any brush strokes. Be very gentle with that. There you go. Okay, and if you have some paint left here, you can just go down here and leave some paint because we're gonna end up with shadows in the snow. I want a lot of snow here today. Now let's make some nice clouds. Let's do something different. I'm gonna take the twinge brush and just tap some paint on the bristles. Just use the corner of the brush for that. And let's go up here and decide where we want a cloud to live and just tap. Just decide of a basic shape of a cloud and just throw it in. Just tap. This is a very easy way to paint clouds. Let's do another one. You can have them as big or as small as you like. And let's have another one in here. A small cloud here. Now I'm gonna take a clean and dry twinge brush. It's very important to be clean and dry, and we'll just very gently blend this in the sky. Fluff them up a little bit with big circular patterns. Just pull some paint up. Remove any excess paint that you might have and just gently go above this. And we have some nice clouds here, enjoying the winter sky. Okay. Let's build a mountain today. I want a big mountain here. For that I'm gonna use the knife and I'm gonna take some white. This is titanium white. And let's go into some Prussian blue, Van Dyke brown and a little bit of black. Just a grayish blue color here. Pull the paint very flat on your palette and then cut off a small roll of paint. And let's go up here and decide where we want our mountain to be. Let's put a big mountain right here. A very big mountain here for me today. Scrape off all the excess paint. And it's up to you to decide how many picks you want. And as you can see, I'm not having a lot of paint on the canvas to paint the mountain. And this is plenty for me now. Make sure you remove all the excess paint so we can apply the highlights and the shadows easier. Okay, now let's take a twins brush and I'm gonna pull this down. And we always want our mountains to be more distinct on top compared to the bottom. That's why we pull, and as this mixes with the liquid white, it gets lighter and lighter as we go downwards. And you can also use the fan brush if you want to make the shape of the mountain. Same way we did with the foothills the other day. And that easily we have a very nice, a basic mountain shape here. Now I'm gonna apply the snow. Just take some straight titanium white and pull this out very flat on your palette. And as always, cut off a small roll of paint here. And now very, very gently just touch and let it float. Very, very small amount of paint on the knife. But the most important thing is applying no pressure at all. This is the most important. And as you can see, you can make the paint to break here. This is the most important thing of all. Let's have some more snow. And you're gonna need a very, very thick paint for this. This is the secret. And then you must learn to apply no pressure at all. This is very, very important. And let's add some more snow in the peaks here. Let's have another big peak here. You can also let your knife to bounce a little bit. It may help you achieve this nice effect here. And by that we just bring a valley right in front this peak. This will add more interest. Some more snow here. Now let's make a shadow color. I'm gonna take some titanium white and I'm gonna take the very small amount of phthalo blue to that. Just mix this thoroughly. And I don't want very much blue here because I want just a very nice shadow color that will send the mountain back in the painting. So let's come up here and do the same thing, just adding no pressure at all. Just caress the canvas with your roll of paint. And let's sneak in here. And you can also come up here, and if you're afraid of messing up like I do right now, you can just make the shadows with a small edge of the knife that sneaks in here much easier. So you just come up here and just do the same thing. You can also use the number 5 knife for this. It's completely up to you. It's the same logic. You can also apply the shadows first. Just find your own way of doing some things. You just need the right equipment. And some more shadows in here. As you can see, this comes very handy here. And do the same thing in the smaller peaks. And always remember that each highlight needs its private shadow, so wherever you have snow you can sneak behind and just add its private shadow. Okay. Let's return with some white in here and make some peaks more distinct. And you can always change your mind and come up here with some white and bring this peak in front. so easily. Return to your shadow color and add some shadows here. And that's all it takes to paint a mountain that easily. I'm gonna take a twins brush, and I want to mist the bottom of the mountain now, so just by following the angles of the mountain, just tap very, very gently. Lift upwards, and it's very, very important to follow the angle of the mountain. So as you can see, I'm holding the brush this way, because if I tap this way, it won't look right. Softly, softly, softly. And do the same here. And we're only tapping the bottom, and you can see I can take some of this blue color here and just bring it right in front and lift it upwards. It will look like some faraway trees and some piece of land probably. And we have a very nice little mountain. Now I want to paint some foothills here today. Let's use the oval brush. Let's use the same shadow color. Just darken it a little bit. I'm gonna collect my paint here. And you know, this is also a very, very good way to save paint. For instance, I have already paint in here that I'm gonna use. So this is actually a very effective and very cheap painting to do. So I'm gonna take some titanium white on the oval brush and a little bit of phthalo blue. As you can see, I'm brush mixing the colors. And I want this color slightly darker than the shadows, so that means that the foothill is actually closer to us. This is how we achieve depth in such paintings. And just tap some color in here. Let's put this to a test. Remember to save this misty area. And as you can see, very quickly and very easily we have some very nice foothills appearing in our painting. Just tap with your oval brush. You can use whichever brush you want, but I'm very, very fond of the oval brush at some points. I really love using it. And this is actually an old Bob Ross Incorporation oval brush that I found in a local shop here in my country. And they don't make this anymore. This is manufactured by Lucas, a German corporation that was making Bob Ross products years and years ago. In here I'm just tapping, adding lots of different layers of foothills. So I really love using this oval brush. I'm gonna go into the same twins brush and just mist the bottom of it. Tap very, very firmly. And this is where you need a strong easel. I have a very strong easel here. And since I actually managed to own this easel, my life has become much more easier while painting. Very good advancement. In here I have just blended the bottom, removing the top marks. And I want to go to some more white here and some more phthalo blue. But only a bit darker, because we're coming closer now. Only a little bit. Put this to a test. And as you can see, there are so many levels, so many layers already. And this is what I'm looking for. Always remember to save the misty areas in your painting. Play through your paints. You can also add brush and blue if you want. You can darken it with midnight black, it's all up to you. And just some happy indications here. Fill this in nicely. Okay. And you can also have some bigger hills here, some tree indications probably that are far, far away. Okay, I'm gonna blend the bottom once again. And by the time we have the liquid white on, it's so easy. We're hardly doing anything. As you can see, we're only diffusing the bottom, but it's important to use a lot of pressure for that. Just tap it nicely. And the more you tap, the mistier it gets. Lift upwards. And so easily we have a very nice background to play here. Okay, let's spend some time here to make the lay of the land with a fan brush. Let's use a fan brush. I'm gonna go into some white. Let's make it a little bit thinner. I'm gonna add the least little amount of liquid white, and this is only to make the paint thinner, so it slides easier in canvas. I'm gonna add some phthalo blue to that, but only a very small amount. And let's decide the lay of the land. Let's come up here and just fill this in with some snow. And as you can see, we already have some nice shadows in here because we removed excess paint from our brush that we made the sky with. A little bit more paint here. And just blend the bottom of this. Some very nice snowed covered areas here. And bring it all together. Okay, let's mix up a color. I want to have some different layers of bushes and trees in here, so let's take the same mountain color here, just make a little bit more. I'm gonna take some Prussian blue, this is ivory black, this is a new tube I got from Winsor & Newton. Ivory black, Prussian blue, and a little bit of Van Dyke brown here. And this is gonna be, let's make it a little bit darker. Take some alizarin crimson too. And this is gonna be a background color for the time being. Okay. Let's take a twinge brush first. I'm gonna use a once brush instead. Go into this color here, a little bit more blue for me. I want the bluish hue today. A little bit more blue. And load the brush with a lot of paint, pulling in one direction. And I want to have some nice indications here. And in here I'm turning the brush sideways because I want to have the lay of the land and make smaller bushes. And in here we can go into the snow and have some nice grassy areas covering the snow there. Okay, let's take the fan brush we used for the snow and just pull this. Just pull this way. Remove any excess color. And this is how we make shadows. Just pull this way. This actually helps us decide the lay of the land. This looks like a small cliff or something. And also remember where your light comes from. The mountain says it comes from the right. So just pull this way. Very gently. And that's all you have to do in the meantime. So let's make a darker color, because evergreens tend to be darker than bushes and all these. So let's take ivory black, some Prussian blue here, some Van Dyke brown, and some alizarin crimson. These are all the color we have anyway, just yellow, blue and white then. Okay. Now let's take a number 6 fan brush. And it's very important to load the brush full of paint to make evergreen trees. Lots and lots of paint, both sides. And let's come up here and decide where we want. As you can see, we have lots of paint in here and a very nice chisel edge. So let's come in here and paint some trees. Let's go in here and using just the corner of the brush make some nice evergreen trees. Use more and more of the brush as you go downwards, and that's all you have to worry about in the meantime. Let's have another one. Let's have another one in here. And do the same thing. Hope you can see it. And maybe there is a smaller one in here. And I don't want them very big for now because we're still far away in the painting. Okay, let's take the small knife and I'm gonna use some titanium white here, very small amount, and some Van Dyke brown. Cut off a very small roll of paint and make the tree trunks. Just pull sideways, and that easily you can have a very nice effective tree trunk. You can also have some other random tracks if you want. Just here and there. Now let's take the other fan brush we have, take some liquid white and just load the brush full of paint. Also use some phthalo blue for that. And this is gonna be our highlight color for the trees. And let's go up here and very gently tap in some snow, some highlights. And if you're picking a lot of the dark color, just clean your brush on the paper towel and carry on. We don't want lots of detail at the moment. Alright, now I'm gonna paint some bushes, and for that I'm gonna use the ones brush, go into some titanium white here with liquid white. I'm gonna need a lot of paint for that. Just pull in one direction, take some phthalo blue, and it's very important to have a lot of paint for that. As you can see, there is a huge amount of paint. Now with the rounded corner up, let's paint this bush here. And as you can see, it very quickly appears. Let's go in here too. And try to paint one bush at a time. If your paint won't stick, just add some more liquid white. Just a small amount of liquid white for me. And as you can see, we layer the bushes in here. It's very important to paint one at a time. And in here that we have the grassy areas, we can just turn the brush sideways and that easily we have some very nice grassy areas. Then return to your fan brush with a white color and just pull some shadows in here. That easily. And also fix the lay of the land if you want. And as long as we have a wet canvas here, it's so easy to do this. Okay, let's paint another layer. Gonna return to my 1-inch brush with a dark color, and I'm gonna go into some of the previous dark color, but I'm gonna darken it a little bit with this evergreen color here. And this is how we work in layers, just from the light to the dark. And let's come up here and have some bigger bushes. If you want, you can also use the 2-inch brush, but I have this dirty anyway, so just make them a little bit bigger and darker. Something like that. And you can also bring some leaf indications in the front, like this. And this is the same procedure. Just pull in some color. Remove any excess paint. And do the same thing here. I'm gonna go into some of my white paint. Add some snow. And do the same here. And as you can see, in here we have more dark because there are leaves in the front. And that easily we have made some more snow in here. And if you think that you have messed up a little bit of these leaves here, but I'm quite okay, you can just come back and push the snow back. As you can see, it's very easy to fix. By the time our paints are wet here, we can move them, scratch them off, and repeat. It's so easily. It's so easy to fix our mistakes here. So let's return to the dark color of the evergreens, and I want some big evergreens now. You can have them as big as you want, but I want them a little bit bigger here. Let's make a couple of trees, a happy couple here. So let's go in here, right in front of the mountain. Let's make the husband first. And just use the corner of the brush. And if you're running out of paint, just reload it. Nothing wrong with that. That easily. Let's make the wife now. And I want her a little bit smaller here. Always using a corner and using more pressure as we go downwards. Okay. And here I just want to cover some little gaps I have. Okay. Let's now make the trunks again. I'm gonna take the big knife now, take the same color, and just put in a very nice trunk. Okay. Return to my fan brush with the white. I'm gonna take some more liquid white for that. And titanium white. Right now that we're closer, we want more distinct colors, more details, so I'm gonna take some more phthalo blue for that. And as you can see, it's significantly darker than the previous one. And let's come up here and paint some snow. That easily. And let's go to this one too. Okay. So this is, I think, a painting that will really help you with this kind of winter sceneries. It's quite repetitive, but it's fun. Let's paint the bushes. Let's start with the one that is further away first. A very small one here, and as you can see, there is difference between the colors that we used previously. Some nice snow-covered bushes here. And always go slightly above the dark. Another big bush here. Gonna take some more liquid white for that. Phthalo blue. And let's come to the big one here. It's very important not to use a lot of pressure and do not let your brush to slide. It's most important. Let's go to the small one in here. And you can also come back again and add some very nice grassy indications. Just sneak in here. Paint another bush. And always remember, if you have problem making your paint stick, just add some more liquid white. Okay, return to my brush with the white on, the fan brush, and just bring it all together. Just pull some paint. Okay. Just pull this in, bring it together. And I want another piece of land. Let's go into straight dark color here. And add another layer. Another layer of bushes. Just throw in some paint. Okay. It's so easy to do, and it's great fun, I'd say. And you can have as many layers as you want. You can also have a cabin. You can add a lake. It's completely up to you. And in here I want a different lay of land. Hold this down. And this piece here is gonna send everything back. Just think of such streaks that will add depth in your painting. So I'm gonna go into some liquid white again. And this time I'm gonna add more blue because I'm much closer. Phthalo blue for me. This is a nice color. And go to the small bush first. Always remember to work in layers. And let's have this big one here. Just paint one at a time, and remember to leave some very nice dark areas in between. These are very important to add depth to a painting. Some more blue. And let's snake in here. And also reverse the branch to have our snow grass here. So easily. I think this is a very nice painting for a beginner to start with. Such limited equipment and colors. Now in here I'm gonna pull, using my fan brush, some shadows. And then I can return with my white here and just push everything back. Use a clean knife to scratch in some sticks and twigs. Let's start from back here. And we mainly want these in the dark areas because the canvas will show through and we'll have many more details like this. Just scratching. And do the same in here too. And I think we already have a finished painting. This was a quick one and I think it was most enjoyable, just so easily done with very limited equipment, very limited palette. And you can also use this as a guide for a different season if you want to have regular grass during the spring or anything, summer. You can also turn it to a warm painting of winter. We have done something like this in the past. But for me, this is what I wanted for today, and I really hope you enjoyed it. I've been very happy showing you what I'm doing here, and I hope to see you again next time. So until then, happy painting and take care.